Snake Pass was a game that I remember seeing in action for the first time a few months ago, and I immediately hoped that this game would be what it promised to be. A bright, delightfully styled game with different and challenging gameplay. And after finishing the game, I can easily say that this is exactly the case, and I am not disappointed. Just as a note, I played this portably on my Nintendo Switch and captured the video you're watching on the same system. In the game, you play as Noodle the Snake, and you're guided by your friend Doodle the Hummingbird. Look at these guys, aww. As this adorable duo, you're tasked with returning the keystones back to their rightful places throughout the different worlds. Who removed the stones in the first place is a mystery, but if you don't help get them back to where they need to be, it could be bad, I guess. I'm not really sure. I forget if the game actually touches on this or not, as it doesn't really seem to be super important. The story in Snake Pass isn't exactly what you come to the game for. You come here because you get to play as a cute snake. But don't let the cute look of this game fool you. Based on the look, you would think that this is a game for children. However, beneath that cute exterior lies an evil beast just waiting to drive you mad with physics-based puzzles and odd control mechanics. When you begin, you learn to slither. You learn to raise your head and start climbing objects, and you learn how to grip onto these objects so you don't fall. You learn that every button on the controller basically does something different with Noodle. You basically learn to be a snake, and you soon learn how unforgiving the world can be to a slithering reptile. At first, Snake Pass really throws you some easy levels to learn the mechanics, but after those first few easy worlds, Snake Pass sheds its cute skin and shows you what it's really made of. Snake Pass becomes a challenging game, at times a very challenging game, sometimes a very challenging game that will have you yelling or growling when you aren't sure what the hell you have to do to get that last coin. Ah! From that outburst, it would seem as though Snake Pass becomes frustrating. And it does. But I have to say that it's the kind of frustration that you learn from. You have to figure that the game wants you to move Noodle's head up while moving forward, while gripping what you're climbing at the right moments to make sure you keep your momentum moving vertically. It can be a lot to think about at once. When you get to that area that makes you want to throw your Switch across the room, and you fall off the bamboo post that you've been trying to climb for the past 10 minutes, you just want to scream. But what you don't know is that every time you die, you're learning more about what you can and cannot do with Noodle. You're creating the muscle memory from the physics to be able to react correctly when you get to new obstacles. It's so satisfying to finally cross that huge gap that was giving you trouble and hitting a checkpoint right after. You also find that after you get better at controlling Noodle, if you return to earlier levels, you'll be able to collect all the things you couldn't before. This is also really satisfying because you found that you've improved and can finally put that really annoying part of the game out of your head. I guess learning how to climb a windmill while it's moving to grab a collectible in mid-air will make you a better snake handler after all. Snake Pass constantly challenges you, but it's always fair. Its difficulty ramps up perfectly. From level to level, the game starts throwing you bigger and bigger challenges, building on what it did before. I ended up getting so good at predicting what to do in certain areas with Noodle that I would roll up and do it on the first or second try. I could even cheaply cross certain perils because I learned the world's physics and the best way to use Noodle's momentum there. Once it all starts clicking in your brain, it can feel really good. Now, the levels in Snake Pass are not long, but if you're at a tough part, you're going to find that you'll want to quit the game before you finish the level because you just can't take any more at the moment. I found this game to be particularly great on the Switch because I could just put the Switch into sleep mode and come back to it later. Taking a break is a must in this game, and the Switch really helps with that so you don't lose your place. Though, I do remember coming back to the game later and seeing where I left off and saying out loud, "Oh good God, not this again." Now, some have coined Snake Pass as a 3D platformer. While I can see where they're coming from with that statement, I almost think it's better to say that Snake Pass was the answer to, what if we make a 3D platformer and you play as a character who's kinda slow and can't jump? That is Snake Pass. I mean, don't get me wrong, Noodle is pretty nimble for a character who can't jump or move all that fast, but sticking a non-jumping character in a 3D platformer is kinda what you get here. You have tons of stuff to collect, and this stuff is in hard-to-reach places, so you have to get creative with your solutions. This is what I love about it. Snake Pass is a whole different kind of puzzle game. You're using your brain, but you're testing your motor skills and your hand-eye coordination. The puzzles very rarely involve you needing to use intelligence. It's more, how can you plan an approach to this area of the world, get past it, and react correctly on the fly if something goes wrong. This is where Snake Pass really shines. So I love the art style of Snake Pass, I love the gameplay of Snake Pass, I love the feeling of solving these tough physics puzzles, and really, I only wish that there was more of it to play. There are only about 15 levels in the game, and while you'll still get a good 6 to 7 hours out of the main game, and more if you're willing to go for the 100%, I still want more. Sumo Digital, the developer behind Snake Pass, did set it up for a sequel or possible DLC. And personally, I'm good with either one because I would love another few worlds to play with this snaky duo. Don't pass on Snake Pass. I definitely recommend this game to anyone looking for a really fun physics-based puzzle game. Or just some cute characters to play as. Look at these guys! Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out all of my E3 2017 coverage from last week. Of course, you can also check out all the other episodes of GGRC, or even check out my other show, The Quake Rave, where I play through all kinds of different Quake maps and mods. Enjoy!